But Courtney was our firstborn, and she arrived curious and energetic. It's been that way pretty much ever since. Courtney is responsible, a goal setter, fun-loving, confident. Courtney, I'm having trouble reading your handwriting. I got it. Intelligent. I think I can see the rest. Now, at this time, I'd like to give a brief example of some of these characteristics in order to comfort Aaron and his family that we're providing a quality bride for this marriage. Courtney is responsible. At an early age, we asked her to start babysitting her two younger brothers. Brad and Rob, would you raise your hands to identify yourselves? Now, Courtney actually did an adequate job doing this, and she never got fired. But to this day, those boys Courtney claims that they did not give her the admiration that they should have. Courtney's a goal setter. Prior to high school, Courtney mentioned she was interested in joining the Grove City Marching Band. Well, we thought this was an awesome idea, so we got her some lessons, and soon Courtney was playing clarinet in the Grove City Band. Now, the Grove City Band is a huge band. They march over 300 people. They're very well known, and they're also well known for having a very strict director. Now, halfway through Courtney's freshman year, she told Nancy and me that she had a goal for band. Now, I was thrilled. This just made my heart go pitter-patter. Courtney is developing a musical goal? Well, then Courtney went on to explain her goal, and her goal was to go through all 4 years of band without having the strict director really know who she was. Now, this wasn't the goal I expected, but it was Courtney, so we said, whatever. Well, Courtney was well on her way to reaching this goal. Halfway through her sophomore year, the band director, in the middle of one of their marching drill practices, from high above his perch with his megaphone, stopped the practice and said, "Whoever is 2 spots over and 1 spot back from Derek Smith, you really screwed that up." Yes. He still doesn't know who I am. But then the following year, he actually asked her to become a squad leader, and they did have a reasonable relationship. Aaron, you may not realize this, but Courtney is fun-loving. When Courtney was at Kent, she would call Nancy and I on speakerphone, and she'd usually be describing something really fun that was going on. A typical call, she'd say, "Oh, we had a fabulous weekend. There was a football game Saturday. We tailgated all morning. All my friends were there. It was so fun." Now, usually at some point during this, I would say, "Oh, did Kent win their football game?" Now, this question was a real stumper for Courtney. She virtually never knew the answer. She would have to get off the phone for usually about 2 minutes to track someone down that knew and come back and say, "Stephanie says we lost again." Now, Courtney is confident. After her college, on the suggestion of her friend Sarah. Now, is Sarah Shingalis here? She's usually seated near the bar. There she is. That's where she usually is on events like this. Sarah, who was teaching in D.C., suggested, "Oh, Courtney, you should come down here and live with me and teach." So Courtney did that. She went down for 2 years and taught down there. And then in the spring, she told her mom and I, the second year, she said, "I'm thinking of coming back and trying to find a job in Central Ohio, closer to home. Well, Nancy and I were thrilled. We thought, oh, that's awesome. And Courtney added, so I'll be home when the school year ends, but I won't be here very long. Now, Nancy and I said to each other, now wouldn't you think Courtney would spend like a whole summer here making sure she got the job she wanted? But that wasn't Courtney's plan. So we didn't say anything, but Courtney was coming home on a Tuesday. She had an interview on Wednesday, and I was off that day. So Courtney goes to the interview, and she comes back, and I said, oh, how'd the interview go? And before she could even answer, the phone rang, and it was Grove City Schools. I couldn't believe it, and I could tell they were offering her a job. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe this. And further, I could see they were asking her to come back and sign the paperwork the following week. And I can hear Courtney say, can I come back right now and sign the paperwork because I'm leaving for Texas in the morning? And I do believe she was going to visit Eva Dublin. Where's Eva? Yep, is that right? I think she was, and they were going to Montana. Anyhow, Courtney had planned just the right amount of time to come home. Now, I haven't known Aaron as long as I've known Courtney. But one thing I can tell you about both of these two, they are awesome at keeping secrets. Because neither Terry or JP, nor Nancy or I, had any idea they were dating until 3 months into their relationship. Now, the first time we met Aaron was last year when he invited us over to his condo for dinner. Well, Nancy and I were really excited, so we, of course, signed up right away. Well, Aaron met us at the door, and he was so polite and nice and mannerly. And one of the things he did, he asked us right away if we'd like a tour of his condo. Now, I thought this was such a nice gesture. We said, sure. So Aaron took us around room to room, and everything was fabulous, so neat and orderly, I couldn't believe it. So much so that later, when friends and relatives would say to me, oh, how do you like this fella that Courtney's dating? I'd say, oh my God, he's awesome. He gave us a tour of his condo, everything is in its place. He's really got his stuff together. Now, Courtney, after overhearing me say this conversation a few times, she couldn't contain herself. She finally said, Dad, his place does not look like that all the time. But now back to our dinner. We go in, and Aaron really knows his way around the kitchen. Oh, he's cooking up a storm. And Nancy and I thought, wow, what a great skill to have. You know, we were really impressed. And actually, he was preparing Nancy's favorite meal, which is grilled salmon. So I knew he was smart. So then, as we go through dinner, we have wonderful conversation. It's really nice, and the subject of his work comes up, and he explains that he's a career military man and in the Air National Guard, and you know, we're really impressed, and we think it's such a wonderful career to have. And then he goes on to explain he's an airplane mechanic, and I'm like, oh my God, that would be so challenging and so much responsibility. But then the wheels kind of started turning in my head, and I thought, wow, if this thing works out with Courtney and Aaron, this could be awesome for a family in the long run, because you never know when you might score an airplane in your family. So anyhow, you know, after dinner, I kind of sauntered over to Aaron's entertainment center, because I'm always curious what kind of music people like. And I go over there, and Aaron's got albums, you know, the old albums that crack and pop and skip and have all this white noise and everything, just like I did. I looked closer, he had the same albums I had. I couldn't believe it. The Eagles, the Moody Blues, the Beatles. Well, it was at this point that I knew he had been raised well. And I thank you, Terry and JP, for that. Now, as the evening ended, we could tell these two really had something special going on, and we knew that Aaron really made Courtney happy. So when Nancy and I got in the car, we said, boy, I sure hope it's not another 3 months before we see Aaron again. And the pandemic hit, and it was exactly 3 months before we saw him again. But since then, we've got to know Aaron very well, and we're so pleased that he's joining our family. And likewise, the Slupskys have been so welcoming to Courtney. Hello again. So welcoming to Courtney, and they've just been wonderful. I think they're going to have a wonderful in-law family. And but in spite of the pandemic, they did quite a bit of stuff, actually. They did whitewater rafting, they did camping, they did some traveling to West Virginia, to Nashville, they made it all the way out to California. And did they make it to Montana? Yeah. I think so, yeah, I think so. Yeah, and they did a lot of cooking and even more hiking, and through it all, we could see their love grow every day. So at this time, let's raise our glasses and a toast to Courtney and Aaron for the start of a lifetime of love and happiness.